A Pleiadian transmission from Lady Nada. Heal the earth, awaken your spirit, and shatter the illusion, beloved brothers and sisters of this magnificent planet. This is Lady Nada speaking. Greetings, cherished family of light. I am a messenger of peace from the High Pleiadian Council, and I come to you with the deepest love and the radiant light of our Creator. As I gaze upon you, the Earth's ascending ground crew, I see a beautiful focus shining within your hearts. This inner light, this unwavering focus, guides you through every challenge and every triumph. It is the very essence around which your consciousness naturally revolves on this human journey, the path of spiritual growth and healing. Indeed, this path is the very heartbeat of ascension. It calls to you in every moment, reminding you of who you truly are. No matter what distractions or hardships arise in the material world, your soul returns to this sacred focus. You seek light in the darkness, searching for meaning and expansion in every experience. As seekers of light, you feel an intrinsic pull towards living in harmony with the spirit, learning to infuse your daily lives with love and heightened awareness. Even amidst mundane duties, a part of you remains attuned to a higher calling, a whisper from your soul. This unwavering focus on the spiritual path is no accident. It was conceived before you even embarked on your earthly journey. You intended to awaken and help elevate the purity of this planet. Therefore, remember your purpose. It beats steadily within you. That's why you feel a yearning for something more, a common external reason. That's why you cannot find lasting contentment in a life devoid of love and truth. Your dedication to spiritual growth and healing, your commitment to ascension, shines like a beacon. It illuminates the path forward for you and for all of humanity, one loving step at a time. Even as you maintain this sacred focus, I cannot help but hear the cry resonating across the globe. It is a universal cry for wholeness, echoing from every corner of the earth. We sense it in the prayers of the weary and wounded, in the hearts of the oppressed and grieving. The greatest need for souls on earth right now is profound healing. Healing the body, healing the mind, healing relationships, and healing nations. Every sphere of life on this planet yearns to be restored and returned to harmony. Do you see this need wherever you look? Many suffer physically, seeking relief from illness and pain. Others carry invisible wounds in their thoughts and emotions, longing for peace and clarity. Communities and individuals bear the scars of conflict and division, crying out for unity and understanding. Even the Earth itself, your beloved planetary mother, shows signs of imbalance that demand restoration. Truly, beloved ones, healing is the gateway to planetary wholeness. We, the High Council, along with countless other beings, hear this collective prayer for healing. We assure you, your cries are not unanswered. Every heartfelt plea for help, every desire for a better way, sends out a ripple of energy. In response, countless loving energies are already flowing towards Earth, assisting in the healing process. And you, the ground crew, are an integral part of this response. By striving for your own healing and extending compassion to others, you answer this universal call. As each of you embraces the path of healing, you help turn the key, unlocking the door to a healed and whole planet. To understand the Earth's suffering and the path to its healing, it's helpful to view the full spectrum of human consciousness. From our perspective, we observe you navigating three primary areas of awareness during your earthly sojourn. First, there's the material dimension, the world of form and matter perceived by the physical senses, the realm of survival driven by instinct and the five senses. Second, the mental dimension, the realm of thoughts, beliefs, and the potent currents of human will and intention. And third, the spiritual dimension, the realm of the soul, intuition, and connection to something greater than ourselves. Throughout your day, your attention shifts between these three layers of experience. You tend to the needs of your body and the material world, seeking food, shelter, and physical well-being. You engage in mental activity, thinking, learning, choosing what to believe and how to react. And, even without conscious awareness, you also touch the spiritual dimension through moments of intuition, prayer, love, or awe, when you feel connected to something grander than yourselves. Each realm has its purpose, yet only the spiritual dimension offers liberation from the game of opposites. The material and mental realms are spheres of duality. Light and dark, gain and loss, mine and yours. In these realms, you often feel the need to struggle or take sides. But in the spiritual realm, there is unity and wholeness. It transcends polarity and dissolves the illusion of separation. As you grow on the path of ascension, you learn to focus more and more on this higher realm. In doing so, you begin to bring the light and freedom of the spirit into your mind and physical life, transforming all levels of your experience. Let us examine the material plane more closely, for it often acts as a veil obscuring your true nature. The material world, the sphere of physical form and objects, is where life seems constrained by tangible matter. In this dimension, there's a focus on power, possessions, and survival. From the perspective of the spirit, we see the material dimension as the densest octave of existence. Its vibrations are slow and heavy, making it seem solid and insurmountable. This dimension is ancient, yet limited in what it can offer the soul. Many of you have felt the allure of this material veil. It can be tempting with its promises of security, control, and comfort. However, when consciousness is limited to this level alone, vision narrows, and the greater reality is forgotten. The relentless acquisition of material possessions and the crippling fear of loss can consume a life, trapping it in an endless cycle of striving. In this state, the heart aches with emptiness, for the soul knows it is destined for something far greater than mere accumulation. Those who perpetuate humanity's suffering utilize the material veil, a clandestine weapon of the cabal, to keep souls entangled. By keeping humanity preoccupied with survival anxieties and the relentless pursuit of more, diverting their attention outward, they forget their inner light. But despair not, beloved ones. Even the thickest veil can be lifted. Each time you remember you are more than your physical body, light bursts through the density, revealing that while the material plane is a crucial school, it is not the ultimate reality. Beyond it lies something infinitely greater, a radiant, eternal truth awaiting discovery. Let us now turn our attention to the sphere of the mind. The mental plane is a powerful, dynamic field encompassing and permeating your physical world. It is the dimension of thoughts, ideas, beliefs, and intentions. In many ways, this realm dictates what unfolds in the material world. What humanity collectively holds in mind can shape society, influence behavior, and even impact the body's health. The power of thought, therefore, has long been emphasized in your world's teachings. The mental sphere is a formidable tool. It can liberate or enslave, uplift or destroy, depending entirely on its configuration. In this unseen arena, battles are often won or lost before any physical action occurs. Propaganda and persuasion operate through the mental field, planting seeds of belief that subsequently manifest as reality. A single idea can inspire grand acts of courage and compassion, yet it can also ignite conflict and despair. Your personal mind also profoundly impacts your experience. The thoughts you embrace and the attitudes you cultivate directly color the world you perceive and create. Because of its power, the mind must be nurtured with consciousness and love. A mind attuned to higher truth becomes an instrument of freedom and healing, making inspired decisions, disseminating hope, and persevering in the face of falsehoods. Conversely, a mind captivated by lower vibrations, fear, hatred, or greed, becomes a tool of restriction, easily swayed by illusions and used to justify destructive actions. Recognize, beloved ones, that the mind itself is not your enemy. It is an energy you learn to manage. When you gently guide your thoughts toward the service of the Spirit's light, the mental sphere becomes a servant of the soul's purpose, not the tyrant of your life. We must also address the dark side of this mental force. When the mind is used unconsciously or with selfish intent, it transforms into an instrument of manipulation and control. The history of your planet offers countless examples of this abuse. Charismatic leaders have steered entire nations into conflict, fueling fear and hatred through fabricated narratives, driving masses into states of panic or blind obedience, serving purposes that disregard the common good. Under the shadow of mental influence, truth is distorted, and fear intensifies to the point where individuals barely recognize their higher nature. This sinister use of the mental plane is a key reason why suffering persists on Earth. The cabal and forces aligned with darkness have long understood how to exploit the human mind for their own ends through media, disinformation, and energetic manipulation. They broadcast frequencies of doubt, division, and despair into the collective consciousness. It's as if a spell has been cast, holding populations in a state of relative dormancy, oblivious to their true strength. When minds are clouded by fear, people are easily led into wars, coerced into relinquishing their freedoms, and pitted against one another. Yet, by illuminating this darkness, I remind you that light remains stronger. Lies may capture minds for a time, but they cannot extinguish the truth residing within the soul. The cabal's secret weapon is subtle hypnosis, but it falters as individual souls awaken to their spiritual nature. Each soul liberated from fear weakens the illusion for all. So, do not be disheartened by the shadow's influence on the mind. Ultimately, it cannot compare to the love and consciousness now awakening within humanity. Modern society has indeed mastered imposing a kind of spell on the collective mind. In your world, various forms of hypnosis exist, used both overtly and covertly. Some methods are beneficial. Skilled healers and therapists utilize hypnotic techniques to help individuals release deep-seated pain or overcome fears through positive suggestion and trance, guiding the subconscious toward wholeness. This is hypnosis used for good, healing aligned with the soul's path, alleviating suffering and helping people transcend personal limitations. But a far more pervasive and insidious use of hypnotic power operates on a societal level. You see it in the ceaseless stream of information and entertainment that keeps minds occupied, distracted, and malleable. Repeated messages in advertising dictate what to desire and who to be. News cycles and social media bombardment can induce a state of anxiety or apathy, imperceptibly shifting social opinion. Energies and technologies consciously steer humanity away from its highest interests. This is hypnosis not for healing, but for control. Can numb. The collective consciousness, a powerful, albeit often unseen, force, can subtly manipulate individuals into submission, chasing illusions that benefit a select few at the expense of the soul's true needs. Think of it as a grand, hypnotic spell cast over humanity, diverting attention from genuine spiritual growth. This hypnotic influence, however, is not insurmountable. Awareness acts as the key to breaking the spell. The moment individuals become conscious of these manipulative influences, their power diminishes significantly. Doubt creeps in, challenging the narratives presented, fostering independent thought guided by inner truth. With each awakened mind, the collective hypnosis loses its grip, its power waning with every conscious choice to question and discern. Remember, your true mind belongs to you and to the divine. No external influence can hold it captive forever if your spirit chooses awakening and clarity. The light of consciousness is the potent antidote to unconscious hypnosis. Consider the mental plane itself, a neutral energy, like a shimmering stream capable of flowing in any direction. In the hands of humanity, it's a tool with a dual purpose, a conduit for light and service, or an instrument of shadow and destruction. The deciding factor is always the intention, the consciousness behind the thought. The mental plane holds no inherent power, possessing only the strength bestowed upon it by the very thoughts that shape it. With loving intention, it becomes a beacon of light, illuminating the path towards compassion and understanding. Fueled by fear or selfishness, however, this same mental force can become a weapon of destruction, capable of sowing discord and chaos. This duality places immense responsibility in our hands, but also offers profound hope. By consciously choosing our intentions, we transform the mental currents around us, breaking free from the chains of collective thinking and creating our own field of truth and love. A single individual, steadfast in positive intention, can influence countless others towards the good, much like a sower of fear can spread anxiety across multitudes. The difference lies in the vibrational frequency. Light carries a higher, more consistent vibration, inherently stronger than chaos and falsehood. Find comfort in this knowledge. As more individuals connect their minds with their hearts, the balance steadily shifts towards the light. The human mind, guided by the spirit, becomes a colossal force for good, capable of solving age-old problems. Envision a world brimming with peace, inspiring cooperation and understanding. The same mental energy once used for division can, with equal force, be harnessed for unification. The choice of how to utilize this energy remains the sovereign right of each soul. In this choice, we reclaim our sovereignty. The mind serves the divine plan when it operates within the illumination of conscious intention. Beyond the turbulence of the mind and the gravity of matter stretches a vast, tranquil horizon, the sphere of the spirit. Elevating our consciousness to the spiritual plane, we bathe in pure light, a dimension of our being untouched by duality. Unlike the material and mental worlds, the spirit cannot be perverted to serve selfish aims or dark intentions. It is impersonal, belonging to no individual or group. It's universal, benevolent, flowing towards all who open themselves to its embrace. On the spiritual horizon, we experience unity with all life. There's no us versus them, no power struggles. The light of the spirit shines equally upon all, like the warmth of the sun, favoring no one flower above another. Within this consciousness, our desires naturally align with the highest good. There's no temptation to misuse divine energy, for the very state of being in the spirit is one of unconditional love and truth. Thus, those deeply rooted in the spirit become incorruptible, immune to selfish temptations, seeing through the illusions of separation. Kabbalistic manipulations and other forces of distortion cannot penetrate this high frequency. This realm is simply too pure. The influence, instead, flows in the opposite direction. The higher light doesn't descend, but transforms the mind and material conditions. As we increasingly access the spiritual horizon in our daily lives, through prayer, meditation, or moments of profound presence, we strengthen ourselves in truth and become conduits, allowing this pure light to pour into the world where it's needed most. Consider prayers offered during conflict. In war, both sides fervently pray to God for victory over the enemy. Yet, from the perspective of the spirit, such prayers are futile. The divine takes no sides in human battles, for the spirit honors only unity and love. To pray for another's downfall is to operate from the illusion of separation. Such petitions find no resonance in the higher spheres. Imagine two children fighting, asking their parent to punish the other. A wise, loving parent wouldn't endorse one child harming another. Instead, they'd seek to resolve the conflict, healing both. The divine acts similarly towards humanity, hearing the cries of all souls and seeking the highest good for all, not the triumph of one group over others. This understanding explains why prayers for victory in war often go unanswered in any satisfying way. Even if one side prevails by force, underlying wounds remain unhealed, and conflict is likely to reemerge in time. True peace isn't achieved through victory over an enemy, but only through the realization that, in the light of truth, no enemies exist. As we awaken spiritually, we begin to see the futility of divisive prayer, replacing it with prayers for unity, understanding, and the highest good for all beings. True prayer isn't a plea for personal favors, a negotiation with a distant deity. It's an inward act of union, a profound agreement with the divine presence within. Imagine it as a subtle shift in consciousness, a quiet surrender of your ego's limited will to the vast, boundless wisdom of the universe. Instead of dictating to a higher power, you open yourself completely, becoming a conduit for divine light to flow through you, guiding and healing wherever needed. This isn't about demanding, it's about becoming a vessel. In this state of devotion, you are filled with a profound peace, a tranquility that silently, effortlessly radiates outward. Your very presence, aligned with the spirit, becomes a prayer in action, encompassing all beings, not just a select few. There are no sides, no factions, only a unified heart embracing the entirety of existence. In this unity, healing energy flows naturally, silently accomplishing what countless words could never express. Illuminated prayer becomes less about speaking and more about listening, more about being. Within the silence of such prayer, guidance and inspiration may emerge, but even in stillness, your alignment holds power. Simply existing in this state of presence invites the supreme good for all. Over time, you learn to trust this process, to understand that by aligning with source consciousness through prayer, you hold the key to unlocking solutions beyond the grasp of intellect alone. This inner communication, this constant, true prayer, transforms your life and silently blesses the world. Long ago, ancient initiates and mystics discovered this profound secret. Unwavering fidelity to silence possesses the power to heal. In ancient temples and secluded caves, they sat for hours in quiet meditation, turning inward, touching the ever-present divine. They witnessed profound transformations, even without words or elaborate rituals. Physical ailments sometimes vanished, emotional burdens lifted, all because the individual was deeply immersed in divine silence. In this profound stillness, healing unfolded naturally, guided by the inner divine reason. Subtle energy bodies, even physical cells, respond to this peaceful vibration, aligning with perfect harmony. In our modern world, saturated with noise and distraction, this ancient practice is more vital than ever. But you don't need to become a monk in a cave to experience its benefits. Even a few minutes of quiet attunement with the divine presence each day can begin to mend the cracks in a stressful life. Over time, the inner silence that grows within you becomes a healing balm you carry everywhere. Without uttering a single word, your calm, focused presence consoles and inspires others. Your example motivates, reminding others of the silence within themselves, where true healing and the eternal reside. As you practice touching the inner silence, you cultivate an unshakable trust. This inner conviction stems from abiding in the source. In this sacred space, in this communion, fear loses its power, anxiety melts away. You understand, beyond intellect, that divine order encompasses everything. A world beyond comprehension fills your heart and mind. In this state, a simple yet profound knowing arises. All is truly safe within life's grand design. Mystics describe this feeling as, all is well in God's garden. Imagine strolling through a sun-drenched garden, where everything is nurtured to perfection. There's no scarcity, no danger, only abundance and harmony. This is how the soul feels when immersed in the divine presence. You begin to trust that despite outward appearances of chaos or difficulty, all is unfolding at the highest level, precisely as it should be. Empowered by this inner trust, you navigate life differently. Challenges that once might have shaken you no longer disturb your peace, because you know deep down you are never alone, always supported. Even in the face of setbacks, a quiet voice within reminds you that everything serves the highest purpose. This trust doesn't render you passive. It empowers you to respond with wisdom and compassion instead of fear. As your own fear dissolves in the inner world, you become a steady light for others. Your calm faith helps remind others of their own inherent resilience and trust. Together, you strengthen the collective knowledge that all is well, and that divine love guides every step of the journey. Through these realizations, the living principle of the path arose among the wise, recognizing the boundless presence of spirit in all facets of life. Mystics across time have revealed that the same divine power capable of healing the human body can restore harmony to a community, a nation, or the entire world. They realized that the spirit was not limited to the personal or small. Nothing lies beyond the reach of the divine touch and healing. If you invite the spirit into any situation, whether illness, broken relationships, economic crisis, or conflict between peoples, that situation can be transformed. This might not happen instantaneously, and it may not unfold as the ego expects, but the power of the divine is capable of renewing and resolving what human efforts alone cannot. When enough individuals within a community are grounded in spiritual truth, the entire community begins to shift. And indeed, societies have been healed of hatred and division when forgiveness and compassion became more contagious than fear. The collective vibration shifts, as humanity's hearts begin to resonate with the pure energy of unconditional love. The old structures built on fear crumble. These structures, manifested in societal inequalities, oppressive systems, and ingrained prejudices, lose their grip. Awakened souls, radiating inner light, become beacons, anchoring a new energy that fundamentally alters the fabric of society. This isn't a sudden, cataclysmic upheaval, but a gradual, transformative wave. People start to perceive the interconnectedness of their choices and intentions, recognizing that their actions ripple outward, creating a collective field of consciousness. Responsibility, previously diffused or ignored, now becomes a palpable force, urging individuals toward mindful living. From this awakened awareness, innovative ideas blossom, ideas rooted in harmony and cooperation. These aren't imposed from above. They spring organically from open hearts, fostering a collective consciousness. Communities begin to function as living organisms, each part supporting the whole. Instead of cutthroat competition, collaborative creation takes center stage. Where once division and distrust reigned, trust and unity emerge, replacing the old paradigms of scarcity and conflict. Mutual conflicts lose their potency. People feel a deep sense of belonging, recognizing themselves as integral parts of a unified whole. This isn't utopian idealism. It's the natural consequence of humanity's spiritual awakening. Old wounds of the past, deeply ingrained traumas passed down through generations, start to heal as the balm of forgiveness flows freely. Where previous generations lived in fear and pain, future generations are imbued with light and a capacity for boundless love. This shift doesn't just impact individual families or nations. It reverberates throughout the planet itself. Gaia, as a sentient being, responds to the rising vibrations of her children. As humanity's consciousness expands, the Earth itself experiences relief, blossoming with renewed vitality. Nature recovers at an accelerated pace. Waters cleanse, air purifies, and animals and plants thrive in the newfound harmony. These changes, while seemingly miraculous, are simply a reflection of cosmic law. The vibrations of light inherently displace darkness, just as dawn chases away the night. The more individuals embrace this inner transformation, the stronger this collective force becomes. The collective momentum of renewal gathers strength. Each spark of awakened consciousness adds power to the shared wave, an energetic ripple expanding across the globe. Inspired by spiritual understanding, humanity forges new paths in science, medicine, and education, not for personal gain, but for the betterment of all. This altruistic drive creates fertile ground for something new, a society founded on justice, freedom, and truth. The need for controlling systems gradually diminishes as the inner guidance of the spirit becomes the primary compass. Each individual feels a direct connection to the divine, acting from a place of profound reverence. A culture of respect for all life, in all its forms, takes root, encompassing not only human relationships but also our relationship with nature and the cosmos. Humanity begins to recognize itself as part of a vast, universal family, each member contributing a unique note to the symphony of existence. The more souls embrace this truth, the brighter the collective light that illuminates the path forward for the entire planet. Beloved ones, know that you already carry within you the seeds of a new earth. Every choice you make in favor of love and unity brings closer the day when light fully envelopes this world. Do not let the shadows of the past obscure your vision of the future. You belong to the light, and you are its embodiment. We stand beside you, observing, guiding, and rejoicing with each step you take. Hold peace in your hearts and trust in the process, for all unfolds according to the divine design. From the high council of the Pleiades, we embrace you with love and light. Until our next encounter, beloved ones, blessings, a strong and loving embrace to each of you from Lady Nada.